인도신도
대부분도
강bat은 데럽지.
토르탕가 그렇지.
토토는 좋아.
많이 깨면.
좋아. 근데면 잡듯이하다.
Un autre coussin pour derrière. Sinon, c'est disponible.
언제가 네 결주 대변들이 디야면 내 마셔 세톤데 동슈를 패진 리그의 소리도 네 결주 맞아 되게 맞아 가만 쭉 살래. 가만 살래. 아스 부근ኝ 좀 쉬어서.
Tu vas emprunter ton stylo. Pardon? Oups. C'est pas grave. Le sabre. Si tu veux, il n'y a personne.
계신데 드린데 그래서 우리 나도 정말 루루제제 제약 좀 어디 가고 싶다 중 대빈사 정말 배 도시 시제네 여기.
So I would like to tell you that I'm very happy to meet you together with all the people present. This is another opportunity for us to all do together again. So yeah, I'm very. Deo marba. Ne compte.
Entendi que eu mandei. Kanji kandai kyang. Kanji kandai nyanda. Ngas dus. Ruruchene. Sogan de inala. Karshukri. Ne tuta chik. Chös sene mare dan. Chös shunai mindu. Karine ne zutiniksi. Chik tol kamin shuki chungdi. Kya sangbuta yabushi resangdu.
So I would like to express my pleasure at being here together with you at this gathering, and we are in a Buddhist temple, and it is an occasion for me to meet you all, and I would like to therefore speak to you a little bit about Buddhist teachings.
That's what doing, to doing the announcement day. Shungi to swinging one to Mishitari, 미시다리 디마인베 로와 지기 망부여레 먼중은 스토야요 둔둘 속다 든지 잠지 망부여레 대주 상마 대주 상마 세미여바 히타리 세메베 간사스야지 요마리.
So we're very fortunate to be able to gather together on this occasion, and in brief, I would like to say that we are human beings, but there are many other forms of life as well. Animals, for example, that we can see with our eyes, and other forms of life as well. All these living beings, all these sentient beings, are qualified as sentient in the sense that they have a mind.
수기 풍부다 남식이 풍부니 강수 뒤토그르바 뒤토그레 때니기 나네 개시슈드 가르시드 심기 차들이 심기 차대어레.
To describe briefly the fact of being a living being, that means that we have different kinds of experiences in our life, but basically what determines mostly what determines whether we're happy or not is one or the other of the two components of any living being. All forms of life have either have a body and a mind, but between the two, though, which in terms of our happiness or lack of it, it is by far the mind which is most important.
가르슈르다 르르르야고치 유비나 미티 기분도 세르브 용그리 야지 텔렌도테 근데 디숨산.
And for example, when a person the person's mind or awareness is calm and at ease, then others would say that that person in the calm state is a person that is who is happy. It is the state of mind which determines their being happy or not.
Stemdi chigi madero chigi tudebe sorobo dini yan chigi stemgi sorota dini kangen chimbu yena dini mitil kangen dus manzu dus lab sugiyori.
And on the other hand, even if a person is physically in good health and free of any illnesses and so forth, and free of any pain, if that same person's mind is ill at ease, is upset, agitated, and so forth, despite their good health, others would say that that person was unhappy.
흘러야라 답시 망부시부지다 종래 때는 낭배 주의는 배또 만주 셈되야게 답시래 낭배 주 많이니 줄로 보신다 이미니 답에 지기 이슈 줄로 이니를 가리네 줄로 신다 가리니 대배 셈되야게 답시질 또 이간수 바위용거리
So what is determined, therefore, is one's state of mind, and for a person to be at peace in their mind, of course, there are many means, many methods found in Buddhism, but also in other religions. In Buddhism consists of basically of many methods to achieve that mental peace by taking control of one's mind, taming one's mind. But similar other religions, such as Christianity and so forth, also propose methods to take control of one's mind for the same purpose, or with the idea of finding more peace. In particular, though, in Buddhism, the Buddha taught that if you tame your mind, you will be happy. And taming one's mind is therefore excellent.
La maîtrise de son propre esprit, car il dit qu'à cette condition, on va vraiment pouvoir se sentir heureux.
That's interesting. The children in that was in Sashavini. The Jigging Gobapel has a Kelan. Jigging Gobapel has a Kelan. And they didn't pay to the timber of Situina. The pay and only a woman. To the mountain Bezavina, Mantupe, Tungi, then they get up she's soon shower, soon shower.
So, therefore, in Buddhism, saying that if you take control of your mind, if you tame your mind, you will be happy. In other religions, things are maybe presented slightly differently. For example, in Christianity, they assert the existence of a God who created the world. So the idea in this kind of religion is that if you have to harmonize yourself with the Buddha, live according to with God, you need to you will be happy if you live in harmony with God. If you harmonize your behavior, I guess, with what the God taught.
Pena, también sigue para shuda shubna shinri semduya del tabti te ku yuinza e tabtilda pe karjure tabshi te ku yuinza ti tagare karishure shuada di lanrudo chi karla sunada re 다른 또 있는데 스템닝 소주단이들 투대할다 다른 뒤에.
So what it comes down to is that what is crucial is to transform one's mind, to improve one's state of mind. So we talk about taming the mind according to Buddhism, and but it comes in Christianity of living in harmony with the words of God. But the idea is that if you wish to be happy, you need to work on improving your state of mind.
말은 상매 밀레가 제비니 가르 제비니 상문 심지 기분이야 지금 탑시지리만 도신다 그게 말봐 내가 제니리 내가 던자면 지금도 지금 상하는 내가 지금 요런다면 내가 지금 요래 이제 상문 지금 가르쇼르다 샘디 파지기 기부를 보시면야지 탑시르던 지금
So, in order to find out happiness, we engage in many different activities. We work to earn our living, and for example, you might work in a restaurant or wherever. There are many different kinds of professional activities, but the important thing is to whatever kind of activity you're engaged in, professional or otherwise, is to constantly work on observing your mind and trying to improve it, to take control of your mind. Because the whole point of you're doing that activity is to achieve some form of happiness, and the only way to achieve that end result is indeed to work on your mind. So I encourage you, therefore, to all of you, to be very careful to tame your mind, to control it, if you like, and if you like, and to direct it put it in a good direction, or if you like. Micro, tu as un micro. Pour des questions et réponses, tu as un micro. So this is in a very brief what I've wanted to emphasize, which is the importance of working on yourself in the sense of working on improving your thoughts, your way of, your attitudes, and so forth. And in this sense, I would like to give you opportunity also to any questions, and according to your questions, I can maybe develop this thought, this explanation further.
Il y a un micro là.
Del mundo.
Wieso schön nicht mehr da? Maybe no questions? Really, no questions? Don't be shy.
Bonjour, vénérable maître. J'ai un ami qui était en grande dépression et qui s'est suicidé. Et je n'arrive pas à le laisser aller. Je souhaiterais savoir qu'est-ce que vous conseillez de faire. On va organiser une grande cérémonie pour lui, mais je n'arrive pas à le laisser partir. Merci.
Quand vous dites, excusez-moi, je n'arrive pas à le laisser partir, qu'est-ce que vous entendez exactement?
C'est que je l'imagine toujours vivant, mal. J'ai essayé de l'aider pendant des mois. J'ai prévenu toute la communauté de Thich Nhat Hanh, mais malheureusement, il s'est suicidé. Donc, je n'arrive pas à accepter son geste.
So I had a friend who was depressed for a very long period of time and ended up committing suicide. I helped him for a very long time, but I didn't manage to prevent him from taking his own life. And now I find it very difficult to accept the fact that he took his own life. It's very difficult.
Similar one tominat ranshiti kagmari. Jason Simgi kan legacy similar rang wondu to yati legacy Nyung Trabs Niminduri the Nyung Trabri. And it is the Yini and the Dishunsh.
Well, in this kind of situation, there's not much you can do in the sense of the person has already put an end to his or her life. But if that person has taken their own life, it is also because that person hasn't accomplished fully the task which I have been explaining, which is to take control of one's own mind, to tame one's own mind. And this fact of having led to take his own life is proof in the sense that this task was not completed, despite that person being a Buddhist. And in a sense, it underlines, therefore, you should understand it as a lesson to the importance of working on one's own mind, and take it as an example that shows you how you too, and everyone else for that matter, needs to work on improving their thinking, so as to avoid this kind of end.
This one. River. Jabin Tandang Rancho, Samanta, Tikarshureta, Viva on Rabata, Ringdilla, the leg of Joe and Jesse. Jim Mahoyazi, of his Inji, 10 numbers.
So, in other words, as long as we're still alive, again, this story points out how important it is to do all that we can to avoid this kind of situation where we are feel the need or to take our own life. We need to do everything we can to avoid that kind of outcome in our lives by working on improving the way we see things and yeah.
Really, Mulum Gabu, Gawasa, Midi Tundu Gawasa, Soju, Be Tundu Setatan, what the Tindi Gawasa Vina, Tini Yanumena, that Chigi, Chulusu Ralegre, Ben a number of Zina, Tinibes, Sanjay Santa, Rixum Gumbu San so. Remain silence of what is written. The paper shows that seems in Tamji Bay, the League Bay, Gang Young was young shows Mulumkana, that the executed.
In this kind of situation where you've lost a friend, in this case or in any other similar case, what's good to do now is to do something to help that person. And there are things you can do, and there's also create a virtue and offer it in a sense to that person, so that he or she then finds themselves in a better situation following their death than could be otherwise. And there's, according to there may be things proposed in other religions, but in Buddhism we talk about, for example, preventing animals who are destined to be slaughtered by having them freed, liberated. There's although as Buddhists, you reciting the name of the Buddha, reciting the name of the three protectors, Avalokiteshvara, Majashri, Rajopani, for example, and any form of goodness that you accomplish for the sake of that person, and then sort of offer to the person who's passed away, will help that person. That is something positive, and that it would be good for you to do, or for anyone to do, when they have lost a friend, a family member, or whatever, anyone they know.
C'est bien également de formuler des vœux et des prières pour que les mérites que l'on accumulerait.
Of course, once you have created the virtue, the goodness that you have accomplished, you make the wish, you make the prayer that it may serve to, that it may benefit the person who has died, and that they out there. Another way to create good karma to help that person is to help people who are in difficulty, either because of their poverty or their health or whatever, is to help others, and then with the idea of creating good merit and karma, and then dedicating that same good karma to the person who's passed away. Any other questions?
Bonjour Rinpoche. Ma question
On n'entend pas, excusez-moi. Ah, c'est mieux. Non, là ça marche pas, la sono. Il y a un contact.
On a notre avec excusez-moi. Discret, c'est raté. Bonjour Rinpoche. Oui, donc je renouvelle ma question. C'est comment peut-on trouver le calme mental, la tranquillité par rapport à ce qui se passe dans le monde aujourd'hui, par rapport à quoi nous sommes très impuissants, et donc ce qui a tendance à susciter de la colère, voilà, du désespoir, et donc à avoir beaucoup de difficultés à se tranquilliser par rapport à tout ça.
So how can we find a peace of mind when in the face of all the conflicts and suffering that is found in the world? It's the cause of sometimes this provokes anger in us when we think of all the harm that other people do, and sometimes we feel desperate, we just feel despair. And
Tati 지버들은 zambuling mit sangmen samlu chiki lukdun 시당네 samlu tibe 가르슈리 야부스당이나 이 탑시 되리다니 먼저 상매만다는 이 동긴 등인들 현도 여르디 마동은 생긴들이 양용증을 요르바다니 그래봐
이니 소 레와 라기오르시 rewa like the kange mangote tsamba the sem do che rewa da la the chik suruna
kange mangote de sem nange rewa la do dos sem kange mangote
ti samdondan de nunduri lobchon ma jebe tari. Tatile kari lobchon che urisi du sim gineta sim da sim junta de jun prodan de tane ya gu chang ko lega kande signdo nganzu tak ka shude gon sim da sim jun to su lega kande signdo de su ya gu sin go chebe jebi na go chebe jeni langan norga 노벌 로겐딩 마당 제제 제비는 되는 편도요르스.
So basically, when you think about all the problems that exist in the world, how many conflicts and so on, it can make you feel desperate and impotent, and but that doesn't mean you should give up all hope. You have to understand that if this kind of situation exists in the world, it is the result, the consequence of people's lack of self-control, lack of effort to improve their minds, and so it's better to take this as a lesson personally, to see that to incite you personally to do all you can personally, at least to improve your own mind and to not have wrong forms of thinking. Just simply losing hope is pointless. You have potential, and it's better to do all you can to use that potential to work on yourself. And if you feel desperate, it means that you have a lack of understanding of how the mind works. And there are many in Buddhism. There is much explained about mental and about minds and mental factors, the different components of one's mind. And for lack of this kind of study, which is encouraged in Buddhism, you're not necessarily aware of what's going on in your mind and what needs to be improved and what needs to be rejected and so forth. So we all have that possibility of improving ourselves, and we have the methods available to us, and the best is to therefore to learn about the mind, what needs to be improved and what needs to be rejected.
다르베. 다슈리아 신다.
다바 신다 슈스레. 대 아말레스.
Oui, bonjour Rinpoche. Est-ce qu'on peut donner son corps à la science? Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez? Quand on est mort. Mais il faut le prévoir à l'avance.
Can we give our body to scientists, after death? Can you offer your body for after death? If before you die, can you write a letter or whatever, prepare a document that means that you're offering your body to science? It's of course you can. Of course you can.
지기 준루도 로상이다. 자도 된질이 짐봤던 거지. 무술 변하리는 배 가르슈리 차진도 지리. 이제는 뭐야?
So you can give your corpse away for the purpose of science. That's a way of offering your body. It's a form of generosity. In Tibet, it was the custom was to cut up a person's body and offer it to vultures. And this is another form of generosity. If you like, you're offering your body to feeds the birds, the vultures. So yeah, it's slightly different, of course, but the end result is a gift, and it's something positive. Therefore,
Oui, j'ai lu que dans la culture tibétaine, pardon, j'ai lu que dans la culture tibétaine, on honorait le mort 7 jours jusqu'à 49 jours. Dans ce cas, si on donne son corps à la science, il n'y a plus de corps. On peut avoir une photo, on peut récupérer des cendres, mais bien plus tard.
Est-ce que vous avez lu?
On honorait le mort 7 jours.
On honorait. Ah oui, mais ça ne veut pas dire qu'on garde le corps.
So I read that in Buddhism you honor the person who's passed away for 7 days or 49 days after the death. But if you give your body away to science before that, well, then you can't do that. But if it's different. What you're honoring is the person itself, their mind, not their body. It doesn't prevent you. Oh, pardon. So it's a misunderstanding. You don't keep the person's body for 49 days after the person has passed away. You can dispose of the body, but you do certain practices for the person's consciousness to hopefully direct the consciousness towards a favorable rebirth and so forth. For the body is finished, it's become an animate thing. The mind carries on, and that's what you do practices for.
Bonjour Rinpoche, déjà je voulais dire ma joie de vous revoir dans votre sang.
Encore ça marche pas, faut donner l'autre micro. I'm very happy to meet you again, Rinpoche. I'm very happy too. I'm happy to see you all. There's someone in the distance there. I can't really see very clearly. Somebody wearing a yellow. I tried. Who was it? Somebody sort of recognized the person, but I can't quite see who it is. It was.
On s'est rencontrés il y a quelques années, on a longuement discuté ensemble et on a souvent parlé de la réincarnation.
I met you a long time ago, Rinpoche, a long time ago, and we talked about reincarnation. I have I almost recognize you. I wasn't quite sure. Kalo Rinpoche, I'm a disciple of Kalo Rinpoche. That's good. So I tashile to you. No, they do wish to yesterday.
Vous nous apprenez d'année en année à maîtriser un peu mieux notre mental. Ce que j'ai pu comprendre, c'est que aussi bien nos joies éphémères que nos chagrins, notre tristesse, notre irritation étaient des choses qu'il faut modérer. Donc on est enclin à faire un constat et à tempérer nos émotions. Mais est-ce que constater uniquement ne ferait pas un peu devenir aussi un petit peu cynique ou sans émotion et sans altruisme pour ce qui se passe autour de nous et pour les autres êtres vivants, et se désintéresser justement du bien d'autrui. Et je trouve que le plus difficile, c'est ce juste milieu, cette voie du milieu où il faut constater, mais pas forcément réagir. Et est-ce que vous pouvez nous donner des conseils ou est-ce que j'ai mal compris ce que vous nous enseignez?
So over the years, you have taught us to moderate our emotional reactions, to avoid, we have moments of sadness, moments of extreme joy, and you're encouraging us to sort of even out our reactions. And but that doesn't that mean that we can end up being indifferent? Or what about the aspect of altruism and kindness and benevolence that we are to cultivate towards others? Is that not lost in this process? That's the question, or maybe I've misunderstood the instruction. So isn't it, if we just become an observer, in a sense, observer of our own motivations, our own emotions, and observer what goes around us, can't we not lose our feelings of kindness and benevolence towards others? No.
Something mare, get some Jong. Get Yabusang Galikani, Luluce, like a thing myself. Take Lobson Chidu, so soon the Vasikelni, didn't see young said Chang Yu Mare. Calling over nature the condition made Yakusang Hagozen, didn't move nature Shingri. Changing Shimmy. So it's
so I think there is a slight misunderstanding in the sense that, of course, we are to learn to develop a certain form of equanimity, but that doesn't mean we are to become indifferent. Far from it. Therefore, I think you need to maybe go back to the topic of mind and mental factors to understand better the qualities, the good qualities that we need to cultivate, and the negative ones we need to rid ourselves of. It's a very important topic of study, and I encourage you to pursue it. It's easy to misunderstand, and you must undertake the study and objectively, without sort of any kind of personal bias in getting involved. In try and be objective and honest in what you're learning, and use it to observe your own mind and better understand what you need to accomplish. Of course, you need more than an intellectual understanding. You need to use what you learn and relate it to yourself.
Yeah. So c'est attendimento.
I think that's maybe enough for today, unless there's another question.
Bonjour Rinpoche, j'avais une question. Quelle pratique faut-il faire pour atteindre l'éveil?
So, what practice do we need to have in order to achieve enlightenment?
Ling tandang keran zuchiyade. Keran nyamdi. Ale ndisha. Tayanamena. Mata ineji konjo sumki tsaindu sujang. Dilbe so tamnga keran so nashi yong shows. Simji tamjel rogochi tungji tabo shows. Mulum kyavne yabo yoris.
So obviously this question has come from a young person, and as a young person, what I recommend is that to start, that you think of the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, and that you pray to them as making the wish that you may become like them, like the three jewels. In other words, to become someone who is capable of really working for the welfare of all living beings.
À se mettre au service de tous les êtres.
I think that's all for today. Chinsha. Chinsha.
Chö sene mindu mil pembes sendal simjin sendal samon simjin tamjil pembe chido manzu keji hebri 제빈자 겨우 박도 매버지 manzu sa shari 겨우 디 툴 때니 되는 manzu 뉴르도 산게 슈니 민두 니 겨한도베 이때는 배 가리니도 능보이는 산계를 신다이는 배 수수수 지기 덤바요리 따든지 딘디 배 고방뉴도 토네 심진 탐제기 되는지 투블 쇼스 도민나로는스.
So to conclude, I would like to say that we've undertaken this this talk together in a good frame of mind and out of kindness and a wish to benefit others. And given that, the very fact of being here and listening and my talking, we've been able to create a lot of goodness, of good karma, if you like. And it is now too important that we should, in sense, dedicate that good karma, and by making the wish that this good karma may allow, in the case of you're a Buddhist, allow you to become a Buddha. In other words, a person who is capable of fully benefiting all forms of life. And if you have your own religion, and according to what the prophet of that your religion taught, it's important to make the wish that, in a sense, you thanks to this goodness you've created, that you may work towards becoming like that prophet, become a better person, a person who's kinder and more beneficial to all forms of life.
L'objectif bénéfique, valable, qui est proposé, qui est recherché dans cette tradition. Et donc tout le monde, enfin tous, nous pourrons ainsi faire des dédicaces.
사전 신도 바신제네 슈슈미 빼나 빼르시비나 양군 탐제 김바 주요리 대신도 되니 기부담바 능배 초리 요리 이슈 초리 요리 저 상문 요리 대수 상나 구시시아베 템바지다 그런 저 투비 예든 가리유니 루베 투미나로나스.
I would also like you to pray that this goodness you've created may serve to ensure the long life of all beings who are completely devoted to others' welfare. One clear example would be to the long life of His Holiness Dalai Lama, but then there's many people in the world who completely devoted to the welfare of other living beings and who accomplish much good. And I would like to ask you, therefore, to pray that these extremely beneficent beings, kind beings, should live as long as possible to be able to carry on their excellent work for others' sake.
de leurs souhaits pour que leur activité puisse être couronnée de succès.
And I pray, and I ask you too to pray so that we may meet again next year to find ourselves together in similar circumstances, to exchange and talk about either Buddhism or yeah. So since a lot of people are present, I'm asking if any of you have any kind of relationship with the Dharma Center called Karma Ling. Not really, apparently, no. It's up in the mountains, Haute-Savoie. Jean Greffet. I first met you, Rinpoche, at Karma Ling. He says. No one has presently any connection with it. Just wanted to know, curious to know. So once again, thank you very much for your presence, and like I said, I will pray that we be able to meet again next year, and I ask you to pray for that purpose as well. Thank you. So before we separate, I would like to thank all those many people who have contributed to organizing this event, and notably Ines, who worked very hard and had a great team of many different people who contributed to this event, and thanks to all of you.
Trommelé. Tu vois?